You're listening to Money FM 89.3. I'm Chua Tian Tian with your market view. Now, today we are going to be talking all about K-pop. Well, you might have heard of this on our show. Now, earlier this month, we saw a company called Contents Technologies launching a new exchange-traded fund or ETF focused on listed firms in Korea that benefits from the K-pop culture. Now, companies include big names such as HYBE, the agency behind South Korean boy band BTS, SM Entertainment, who's managing Ghost Generation, and YG Entertainment, who's behind girl group BlackPink. But I would suppose investors would have a number of questions, right? The K-pop scene is known for its breakneck competition. You either make it or you don't. So how do firms ensure that their bands, their groups can generate stable cash flows? And why is this even an investment option nowadays? Now let's get an industry insider to tell us more. Alan Chan is Chief Executive Officer of iGet Entertainment International. He's also the man behind the first Singapore-Korean Kpop Group SKarf back in 2012 and has over a decade of experience in the industry. He's also in the process of launching a number of bands in Korea right now. Now, Alan, to get us started, hi, Alan, are you there?
Hi. Thanks for having me.
Great to have you on our show. Such a long time since we last met. And Alan, to get us started, tell us a little bit more about iGet Entertainment, how many groups you currently have in Korea, which stage are they at? Are they about to debut or which stage are they in?
Okay, sure. iGet is an edutainment technology company, meaning we have education, entertainment, and technology all rolled into one, right? At the moment, we have two groups, which we're going to relaunch them by Q2 next year, and a new boy group by Q4 next year. They are now in intensive training, and we are looking to do audition in Singapore, Indochina, China, Malaysia, and Indonesia, end of the year. Right. What we intend to do is, every group we're going to have 7 members, of which 3 will come from Korea, 1 will come from Indochina, 1 will come from Singapore, and the rest from other regions. All right. So other than the groups that we have, which we call idol, because we have group, we have also other categories like AVA, Viva, Diva. What are all these? AVA stands for A stands for actor, actresses, B stands for band, V for vocalist, D for dancer. So we have this category as well. All right. So we are looking for all these in fact, we have signed a few actors and actresses because we are launching a new movie next year and the drama.
Right. Yeah. So Alan, tell us a little bit more about the K-pop entertainment industry. How do K-pop entertainment companies work? How does your K-pop company work? If you think of K-pop groups as your investments, how much money do you put in? How long is the investment horizon? How much returns do you expect?
Okay, good question. Most of the top labels in Korea have their own system, audition system, development system, and management system, right? We have our own system as well, created by our Korean office CEO. He was formerly from SM, and he created the same system at SM. 2 of us created SKarf and Obis together using this system. So we are using this system in iGet as well. There will be some tweak to it because this Professor Ken Chang, formerly founder of Ocean Butterfly, he has just joined us. He's going to manage all our schools. So he will be helping us to tweak the curriculum as well for all our trainings. All right. Investment per group per se is about $2 million, including their first album and MV and all the whatever that you have, the promotion, the marketing. It's about $2 million, and it's about 18 months to 2 years, right, before we launch the group. Yep. So the returns we are looking at actually depends on the song, depends very much on the marketing effort and the promotion.
So Alan, as we chatted earlier, I've known you since I think almost a decade ago when I was doing student reporting for I think SKarf, I believe. So traditionally, the K-pop scene, I believe back in the 2010s when I was an avid Korean pop fan, it was a breakneck industry. You either make it big or you don't, and there's little middle ground. From an investor's point of view, I would assume that that means a lot of uncertainty surrounding K-pop firms' performance, their share price, their cash flows. Is this still the case right now? Because we have players coming up with K-pop ETFs. That must mean something, right?
Oh, yes, yes, yes. Like all businesses, investment, there are definitely many uncertainties and risks. It's how you anticipate and manage them, right? It's the same for today. It'll be the same for tomorrow. Nothing very much will change, except probably some unforeseen events happening like the pandemic. Other than that, the risk factor, the uncertainty is still there. There's no change, right? Just for instance, we started iGet in October, all right, 2019, and the pandemic came in a few months later. So we were all got stuck, So our plan for Hong Kong, Korea, China all got frozen. And even today, China is still frozen. We can't do anything in China. Right? So these are some of the risks we have to face. And most of the big companies, big labels like SKYG, HYBE, HYBE, all are listed. You need to be listed because you need the kind of capital, the kind of money. Before the kind of money, it's very difficult to roll out artists year after year. It's very, very costly. And in Korea especially, if your first month of your launch, you don't make it, that's it. You're out.
So when we last spoke, I believe it's about, I think, 5 years back, 2017, we were talking about how every month there are about 500 K-pop groups, is it, coming in? Was it every month or every year? So how do you ensure that your groups can break even and generate the returns you want? Is there any telling? Is there any formula that you can mitigate your risks?
Okay. If I can recall, it's not 500. I don't know about now. Probably a bit more. Though back in those days when we launched SKarf and Obris, every day, not every month, we have about 200-300 launching at the same time. All right. So it's very important during the first month of launch that they have to appear in all the TV music program. If you don't appear in any of them, you're out. So I would say over 80% will just let it die after 3 months. You won't hear of them because they cannot be on a TV program. They don't have enough capital to go to. This is something very unique to Korea. They always like to go to Japan after the launch in Korea. Japan is a very big market for them.
Right.
All right. Always go to Japan. So a lot of them will spend 3 months, even up to a year in Japan. Okay. So all these need a lot of funding, a lot of capital. If you don't have, it's very difficult to survive.
Give us a ballpark range. When you talk about they need a lot of figure to appear on all the business shows, to use money to roll and generate even more money for the K-pop groups. What do you mean? How much money do you need to roll and to be on that winning roll?
Easily, I would say US in US dollar, anything from quarter to $1 million to do all this promotion and marketing.
In the first month alone?
In the first, I'm talking about in 3 months. In the first month itself, definitely need about at least $500,000. At least $500,000.
I see. Now, if you're just tuning in, we are now speaking to Alan Chan, Chief Executive Officer of iGet Entertainment International, telling us all about K-pop industry. Companies like YG Entertainment, like HYBE behind BTS, they have been trying to diversify their business to reduce the reliance on their artists by, buying a clothing line, a cosmetic brand and all. But to what extent do you think they are effective?
Oh, a lot, especially during this pandemic. This already been going on since started in 2008, but on a very small scale. All right. At the moment, we also have our own digital production department under our iGet production, right, where we do live e-commerce and content commerce, where we sell products, especially if those that our artists endorse. All right. We will sell them online. We will sell them through content production. What is content commerce? That means we come up with a 3-minute storyline. We create a 3-minute storyline. Selling the product. It's just a small advertisement, right? It's not a hard push. It is, by the way, okay, probably I tell you a story of this group going to a restaurant or something like that, then we actually selling the services and the food of the restaurant. 3 minutes. It is very popular in China now, and it's taking off in Korea now. I don't think you've seen it in Singapore yet, not yet. So we are starting to do this in November. Right? When our CEO from Hong Kong joined us this month, she was from TVB. So she'll be helping us to do all this 3-minute production, content production. So these are one of those things that will diversify the business by selling all these products from so many retailers. It can be big, it can be small, right? So yeah, this is some of the incomes that we want to generate. The other one will be NFT. We are doing a soft launch of our Kobe NFT 6th of October. All right. This is more for charity, but thereafter, all our artists will have their own NFT and e-game. All right. So this is another way to diversify the business and also to give more income to our artists, because they also cannot depend on shows, cannot depend on any endorsement, because they don't have a fixed pay.
Right.
So these are some of the things they try to help them as well.
Right. So Alan, just now we were chatting before the show, and then you were talking about how, by buying a clothing line, by diversifying the business, there are also some synergies because artists themselves, they do have endorsements too, right? Could you share a little bit about that with us?
Okay, for especially cosmetic, I think it's very popular in Korea. So a lot of cosmetic companies look for artists to endorse this product. Of course, you have your clothing, and some like your BlackPink, they even endorse branded products in Italy, right? So as your artists become more famous, more popular, the bigger brands will come for you. Okay, come to you, hey, can you endorse all these for us? So there are a lot of endorsement going on. Okay, of course, like I say, the biggest endorsement will come from all the bigger brand, but don't write off all the small one. Right? You have one small, it may be small, but you have 10, you have 20, it adds up to a lot. All right, and also, like I say, if you do a content commerce for them, because we are launching our iGet TV as well, where we're going to have our own content. So it also brings us content for our platform. Also, people can watch. So this is another diversification where you have income coming in.
Right. So, Ellen, I do want to pose you this question, right? There are investments opportunities like ETFs, all that out there focusing on K-pop. Do you think that it is a high risk, high return industry? Because some were saying that these days fans are less selective because the K-pop fandom is just there. People just go for all the groups, regardless of what that is. And then it makes for a more stable form of investment. And also K-pop companies, they are doubling down on their governance, they are diversifying their business, and it sort of mitigate the risks of such a high risk industry. What do you think about that?
It's a very good product, I should say, very good product. But that being said, not many investors believe in entertainment, right? I say that why? Because when we started this, we tried to raise funds. Very difficult. A lot of them will tell you we don't believe in entertainment. They rather believe in those brick and mortar like construction, maybe your retail, property. They believe in that. But when I tell them, oh well, in entertainment we are doing groups, we are doing production, a lot of them will shake their head and say, no, we don't believe them. Right? But when you go in, when they are listed, they will buy. Why? Because they can see the share price. The more the share price goes, the more they buy. It is very human. Right? And also it attracts all the retail investors. What they want to do actually is to make money out of trading. More than investing because you are a good company, you have good potential. It's more for trading purposes, make a quick buck. Even for the fund, when they invest in you, they, up to a certain point in time, they also have to get out. I have seen this when I was doing stockbroking for the past 20 over years. I've seen the best, I've seen the worst market. Right? Investor go in always with one objective, make money. Right? When we do IPO, especially in Singapore, they always say, hey, they always hope for the lowest multiple they can get. Always in Singapore. That's the reason why a lot of good companies don't come to Singapore. It's because the valuation is too low. And we are planning to go to US Nasdaq 2024. The minimum multiples that we get from US is 30 times. And I don't think we will get more than 7 times in Singapore. You know the difference? The difference is a lot to the investors, right? Especially those who believe in you, those who invest in you. To get back 30 times and compared to 7, 10 times is a huge difference.
Right.
And for this big company, big label, if you don't go listing, it's very difficult for you to raise funds. The bank will lend to you. All your hedge funds and funds that you have outside, they don't believe in you because entertainment is never part of their portfolio, even though they understand how big the entertainment industry is in Korea and how big it is to the Korean government. Right? They know. But when you approach them, they say, no, we don't believe. Strange.
Right. And you know, Alan, as a K-pop fan myself, I have to pose you this question. There has been talks about Lee Soo-man, founder of SM Entertainment, leaving the company. Now, he is that SM behind SM Entertainment. What kind of an impact do you think such moves will have on any entertainment company, the founder leaving, or has the process of creating artists become so standardized that we don't really need the founder's magic touch per se?
Okay. To answer your question, it not just happen in SM or entertainment, it happens everywhere, even in government. You need to change, all right? You need to replace. So and especially in SM in Korea, where they have all the system in place, so the impact is not going to be very far off, just like Apple, all right, when passed on to another. So the impact is not very far off. And I believe by now, if he really wants to retire, he has already found a replacement that share his same version, share whatever he has. So he could have already found someone. But nevertheless, that being said, even a new one that comes in, that share his vision, there will be some slight changes. Because every human has their own way of doing things, the style is different. So there will be some impact. I think if you ask me, the one company that may be more affected will be JYP. Right? Because Mr. Park himself is very, very hands-on. From selection to the songs and all that, he's very, very hands-on. Unlike your YG, your HYBE, your SM, not so hands-on. It's all about relationship with the producer, relationship with all the investors. But for JYP, no. For JYP, we understand he's very hands-on. So JYP may have more impact if he decides to retire. Other than that, I don't think so, because the system will take care of the audition, will take care of the development of the artist, will take care of the management of the artist. Okay, that I don't think, unless they change the system. Otherwise, the impact is small.
Right. And finally, one very quick question, Alan, for you before we let you go. K-pop making waves in Asia right now, but do you think it can be replaced by another pop culture? What is the outlook for K-pop going forward in the near term, at least?
To me, nothing is forever. Okay, it's how long you last. Okay, look at J-pop. Before that, was very popular. Okay, when K-pop comes in, no longer there, no longer the leader. It's still there, no longer the leader. I believe there will be changes. And you look at all the genre, they all do recognize pop. Right now, your recognized pop are the Western, right? You have your J-pop, your K-pop, your Metro, your Kento, right? All these four are all from Asia. What happened to your Tagalog, your Thai, your Malay, Indonesian, your Indian pop? It's not there at all. Okay, and the population in China, in India, and Indonesia is so huge. They are about 30%. Add together, they are about more than 30% of the world population. So we are thinking that the next one could be Asian pop. That's why we trademark the word Asian pop. So we want to create and brand Asian pop based on K-pop training system. Right? So the training and all the system will be K. Okay, but the launch and all that will be Asian pop. That's the reason why you look at all our groups. All the members are from different countries in Asia. There's a reason for it. All right. So if I were Thai, when I bring them to Indochina, it will be high park, you know. All right. Even for Jackson, Jackson was when we did the HYBE Asia audition. Jackson was not even a participant in Hong Kong.
We're talking about Jackson Wang from God Seventh Year, right?
Yes,
okay. Yeah, just for the sake of our listeners.
He was an interpreter for HYBE, for my friend Kang, who was doing the audition with me. He was an interpreter then. So what happened was when the audition ends, I think about 7 plus in the night, we still have some time packing up. So the volunteer came to me and said, hey, can they do an audition among themselves? So I asked Kang, I said, hey, they want to try out and play. Say, why not? You still have time. So we did an audition for them. And Jackson got spotted. And all along, Jackson, for the last 2.5 days, I think, he was translating for Kang, and he didn't even know. Until he went up to dance. So, he's good. So he spotted him and signed him. So you see, all these sometimes out of nothing, out of the blue, is all fated. And it's so popular now.
Yeah,
it's very interesting.
Yeah, so going forward, it is always Asian pop, so trained in Korea, but debut in areas like, well, all around Asia. And of course, stars and trainees just come by like that. Sometimes it's really fate, I believe. Thank you very much, Ellen. That was Ellen Chan, Chief Executive Officer, iGet Entertainment International. Money FM 89.